Attackers incoming. Defend the garage.
What are you doing, Daisy? I'm trying to make a video. It's Sunday, Daisy. It's Sunday. You know what that means, Daisy? We just have to make the Sunday live com for these lovely people. Oh, I just got melted. There was 2 people. There was 2. Look, if you're gonna stand there, you better call out or something. Sheesh. What's going on, guys? Cole, aka Proximitty here, bringing you a brand new video today. It is the ever so elusive Sunday live com series. Back at it again. Last week, I had to go out of town, so I didn't make one. Which was updated with the Whelp video. So yeah, let's get right back into it. I always make these videos and I have so much fun with them, and I'm always like, yeah, I can't wait to really get these going every week. And then there always seems to be something that comes up. I can't remember what happened the other week. I don't know. Whatever. That's not important. That's not important. This is a series that people seem to enjoy, and I want to keep. I want to keep that going. I want to keep people. You know what I mean? Why am I having such a hard time talking? All right. So tomorrow, I just want to go ahead and say tomorrow, I am going out of town for a few days. I don't know exactly how long, and the reason why that is the case is because I am going to Texas to see my girlfriend's family, and my sister also lives out in Texas for Thanksgiving. And well, I was planning on going for 8 days, and I was gonna have all these things ready for it. The unexpected death of my family from last week kind of, you know, shit on all those plans and made it to where I had less time to prepare for this. And now that I had to take 4 days off for that, I really don't want to necessarily have to take another 4 days. So I'm trying to come back. It really just depends if I can get my flight changed. Is really what the situation comes down to. I already have a return flight that was planned for 8 days later. I leave tomorrow. I was going to try to come back. Now I'm seeing if I can't get it changed. I really don't know if I'm going to be able to. So we'll know soon. Yeah, I don't know. So my point in saying that is, because I had to take 4 days off last week, I'm going to try to come back a little bit earlier so I don't have to take so much time off from streaming and uploading. I'm going to have a few videos ready for while I'm gone, but not as many as I really would have liked. So that's kind of a just shitty way that you know, worked out. So yeah, I'm going to see if I can't get a faster return flight. We'll see what happens. But yeah, just in case I'm not, that is where I am. For anybody that watches this, you guys will be in the loop. Yeah, all right, so let's get into these questions here, which I actually don't have pulled up right now because I'm a really, really well-organized YouTuber. I'm clicking the wrong thing. Okay, all right, so the first question for this episode is coming from Joker117. He says, for the next video, would you be able to talk about surviving high school? So, yeah, I thought this was going to be an interesting thing, like kind of give my take on what I was doing during high school. And I'm going to say surviving. That's not me trying to sound like it was like, you know, oh my gosh, you know. I had a pretty laid-back high school experience, I would say. But I figure I'd just go ahead and explain. I mean, laid-back in some ways. I don't know. You guys will hear. But I figure I'd go ahead and explain my perspective on high school so you guys can get filled in on that. Some of you guys are interested? Mute. Okay. All right. So, high school for me. Well, my mom is an entrepreneur and she owns multiple businesses. And she really values hard work and, work ethic and all those things. So, all throughout high school, every weekend, I would be working for her, doing manual labor jobs. Real fun things, you know? But yeah, that was what she had me doing. I love my mom to death. Great woman, you know? She was trying to teach me to work hard and all those other things. And that was what she was trying to get at. However, when you're in high school, what you want to do with free time, whether it be summer break, you know, like anytime I had a break that it was like a week long, I was working the whole week. Or summer break, I was working all 3 months, you know, so like, or 2 months, I guess, a little 2.5, whatever. So she was trying to instill good morals. However, when you're in high school, all you ever want to do is go hang out with friends and go out and, you know, do shit like that. And so I was working like every weekend, and also I played soccer and I played for like clubs. We traveled a couple hours every single weekend, and that was what I did. And I was busy. I was really busy in high school, but I wasn't busy trying to get good grades. I was awful about that. I did not care about my grades, like, at all. Just wasn't something I gave a shit about, which is like not good, obviously. I just wanted to like hang out with my friends, play soccer, play video games. I didn't actually give a shit about, you know, trying to like better my future, set myself up for success. But for high school, for me, I would get up. So I played for my school and club for soccer, so that made me even more busy. So like like a day in the life, I would say, would be getting up, going to school, then I would get off school, go to practice for soccer at school, then I'd leave that practice, go to practice for club. So I'd leave one practice, go to another practice, then I'd come home, eat dinner, go to sleep, do that all throughout the school week. Then on the weekends, I would either be traveling on Saturday to go out of town for a game, or I'd be working. And yeah, I mean, like I got paid for it. It's not like it was free labor, you know, but you know, it just still wasn't what I wanted to be doing. You know, I would have like not cared about having like, you know, the money. I would have just rather gone hang out, do whatever. I wanted to make videos and do YouTube and all those other things. You know, that was still like my interest. Play video games, play Halo. But yeah, that was about it. I really didn't have anything too dramatic going on. Surviving high school was whatever. I just didn't care about the school part, but I didn't mind being at school because it meant that I didn't have to do the work stuff that my mom wanted me to do. So that was that. But yeah, it was a pretty normal experience, I guess. I guess outside of, I don't know what's normal for you guys. And yeah, so yeah, all right. I'm gonna load up the next question when the next map starts because that one ended pretty quick. Dude, the search times were unreal. Let me just tell you. But I found a second game. We're back. Let me go to the second question real quick just to summarize the high school thing. I know I kind of probably didn't see, like, I was kind of just like what my high school experience was like. But again, I don't really feel like surviving high school would be really something I talk about because I didn't really like, it was just kind of whatever, you know, it just kind of went through it, didn't care. Just wanted to do things that weren't school related, you know, pretty normal, like, you know, kid shit, I would say. I graduated in 2012, so I've been out for 5 years. That's about it. I don't know. I mean, I really don't know what to say. Anyways, okay, so going into the next question. Okay, hold on. Let me just get those guys. This is always the hardest part of the series is trying to shoot people and answer, read these questions off. Die. Can't get that headshot from this range. All right. Okay, what do you think is more important? Skill gap? Oh, this comes from Zara Switchy. Sorry. What do you think is more important? Skill gap? Or what is a more important skill gap? Excuse me. Oh god, they all just spawned here, man. I can't hit this kid. He's a wizard, bro. Alright. What do you think is a more important skill gap? Movement, aiming, or map/game knowledge? Of those three, which is the one you feel is the hardest to improve and took you the longest to get better at? Okay. So, this is a good question. Again, the reason I picked it. So, basically, yeah, what is harder to, like, what's the most important? You're not gonna like the answer. It's all of them. There's no real, like, I would say, okay, if I had to, like, just have one, if you could be, like, on a scale of, like, 1 to 10, if all these skills had, like, that, and you were, like, a 10 in one of these things and a 5 in the other two, I would say I would want your map/game knowledge to be a 10, and then your skill gap, or your shot and your movement to be the 5s. It's super, super important to, you know, it's like, okay, for example, I was watching this, so I was at a hockey game last night, and like, love hockey, cool. I understand the game pretty well. I've been watching it a long time. You know, I'm not like a top player, obviously. I haven't played, but I'm saying, like, as a viewer, I understand why professional teams go about the way they do. And this is a minor league hockey team I was watching, so they're obviously not quite at the highest level, but they're a pretty high level team. But you can see if you're used to watching NHL, which is the top level stuff, and you start watching some lower level stuff, you can see the differences. And really, what I was comparing it to was like having a lot of really good, like their positioning was super good. They'd be in the right places, but their passes wouldn't quite be as crisp. Their shots wouldn't be quite as good. You know, they're not as fast, they're not as strong. And that's what it comes down to when I think it's like a simple comparison. It's like being really smart and knowing where to go, where to be, but you can't quite back it up with your movement and your shot. And it cost them a lot of opportunities last night. I was seeing these teams like missing a bunch of opportunities. So I think no matter what, it's important to have a good balance of all things, because being in the right place doesn't always get you everything done. You can be in the right spot, but if you can't execute with your skills, then you're not going to get it done. So you can be in the right position, but if you can't shoot straight, you're going to have problems. Okay, so I would say all, but then going on to the question about, I still think it's most beneficial to be standing in the right spot, though. I mean, I think being in the right place, you know, you might choke now and then, but you're still going to be set up for success if you're not just running around aimlessly. Okay, so that's my answer for that. Then going into the second part, which was, what's the hardest to improve at? Oh, I can kill this guy. Come on, dude. How is that not a headshot? Okay. Damn it. I really wanted him to die. Which is the hardest to improve at? Okay. I guess it depends player by player. If you have a good mind for the game, you're gonna learn the game pretty quickly. For me, I think, honestly, dude, I would say at different points of my Halo career, if you want to call it that, I have taken note that I need to improve in certain aspects, and I focus on those things, and that's how I improve at them. So I wouldn't necessarily say like any of them are like harder than the other. It's just they all take time, and they all take patience, and they all take work. So if you recognize that, hey, my shot's not as good as it could be, or hey, my movement's not as good. Most recently, I had to improve my movement when Halo 5 introduced all the advanced movement, and there was different people that were really utilizing it and just really dominating with it. Like I looked at like people like Vito and Frosty, for example, and they had the way they moved around the map was super clean, and it was just really efficient. And I realized that I needed to improve on that, so I started focusing on my movement, and I played a lot of custom games myself and just practiced moving around the map and all that stuff, getting used to using the movement. And eventually, I felt like my movement's improved. I started getting compliments on my movement, and that was something I never had in the past. So I felt like some people were recognizing that maybe I'd improved as well. So that was good. But then, like in Halo Reach, I recognized that when I was playing Reach, I remember specifically, I took a look at my shot and realized that when I was watching pro gameplay, that not only was I not as good, of course, but I was really not as good. You know, like I wasn't even close, and I thought like, well, I really need to step that up, and how do I do that? And I just, when I would get on, I would focus on my shot. I would go, okay, my shot is what matters the most here. I'm just gonna pay attention, not necessarily how if we're winning, losing, or if I'm making the right decisions, but if I'm shooting well. And so I just took the time to focus on that, and I saw improvement with myself on the shooting aspect of things. And then when it came to learning the game, that actually I learned, like, when you paying attention to your game, your positioning, you have to understand how the game type works. You have to understand that you can't always do what you want to do when it comes to being a good team player. Like, if you like sitting back and sniping, well, then tough shit, sometimes that's not going to happen. Sometimes, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's an example, but if you like grabbing the BR and going standing and taking long shots, you're not always going to get to do that. If you already have your teammate doing that, then you would be best utilized going somewhere else, helping out, just making sure you're in the right position. But that takes time to learn too. And honestly, like I said, all these things take time. I recognize that I didn't really know how to play as a good team player when actually I switched to Call of Duty and started competing in that game and Black Ops 2. And that's when I really started paying attention to my positioning and if I was being helpful and all this and that. And I translated that back to Halo. I started understanding metagame a lot more and trying to be a better teammate. So those would be my answers for that, which of course, so yeah, I mean, I know that's not really the answer you want to hear, was like, which one is the best to have of those three. I would say it's important to have a balance of all of those. They are all very important. And dude, what the hell? Is it Ghost just ripping out a core? Yes. But I would say if you're going to start, let's just say, like, okay, here's actually some decent advice, I would think. If you are at a position where you feel like you could drastically improve at all three of those things, and you're wondering to yourself, out of everything I just explained, where there was moments of my time playing that I've really focused on something and tried to improve it, if you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, I feel like I can improve in all three of these things. Now, which one do I prioritize first? I would prioritize the game and map knowledge first. And then let everything else come along and then try to focus on that. Because, like I said, setting yourself up for success is going to be the best when you are positioning yourself properly, making the right plays, and that's hard to learn, but there's plenty of ways to learn it. Watch a lot of pro gameplay. Try to focus on why they're doing what they're doing. Watch Ryan do reviews. I have a few reviews. Clay has a few reviews in his channel. You can learn stuff. There's ways to do it. It takes a while, though, so just be patient and keep grinding. You can get there. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a thumbs up if you did. Make sure you drop your questions in the comment section for the next episode, which might not be next Sunday because I might not be back in town yet. I don't know. If I can't get a return flight switched, then I will not be back in town, which really sucks. Yeah, I don't want to have to take this much time off, and I didn't want to. But, things happen. That's how life goes. So we'll see what happens. But take it easy, guys. Much love. Yeah. Yo guys, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed, make sure you leave a like. If you were interested, I have a merch store. The link will be in the description below. You can check out all these awesome designs over at spreadshirt.com/proximity, where I often put up new designs all the time, so come check them out. Thanks for watching the videos again. Subscribe if you haven't already, guys. Take it easy.